Hey guys, Serene the Great here again with another Air Force related video. Today's video is going to be about your first day as active duty. Like after leaving BMT and then leaving tech school, your first day is like a free airman. You know, I've been in for like 3 years now, so I probably could have made this video a long time ago. However, here we are now. So for your very first day, whenever you get your orders and you get your arrive no later than date, that's when you're gonna start planning when you call your sponsor from the base that you're gonna go to. They're either gonna reach out to you or you're gonna have to call them and get them yourself. It's like different per base and per shop and how they run things. So you get in contact with usually gonna be like a senior airman or an A1C, maybe even a staff. Really depends on what kind of people you have in your shop at your new base. And you're gonna get in contact with one of them, and they're gonna either pick you up from the airport, or if you're driving, they're gonna meet you on base, and then they'll show you where your dorm is at. If you are not in the dorms, then your sponsor will more than likely just show you around base and stuff like that, not necessarily your dorm, but for those of you who are gonna be in the dorms, your sponsor will get your dorm ready and all that kind of stuff for you. Get your key, get your bedding, all that good stuff. So I remember I came out, right? I drove, because I decided to buy my car in tech school. Reason being is because I knew my first duty station was only gonna be like a 9-hour drive, and I was like, you know what? I want a car. It's my first car. So I drove my car 9 hours from my tech school to my first duty station, and I'm my sponsor here on base. And I parked, and then he pretty much drove me around, showed me where everything was at. Like the first stop was our office. I got to go meet my flight chiefs, and so I know where to show up the next day, all that kind of stuff. And let's see. Then I got to my dorm, and that first day, after driving 9 hours from my tech school, I drove like another hour and a half to go to the mall to like get a few things for my room. Like I got a beanbag chair and a bookshelf. I have a picture for it. A picture for you guys of like my first day in my dorm, how I try to like customize it and stuff. Yeah, it was really nice to have that freedom, like to be able to drive all the way like to a different town, because you know, coming out of basic and tech school, you have no freedom whatsoever really. So it was really nice to be able to drive like far out, go to the mall by myself, not have to be back at a certain time. There's no curfew, anything like that. So the freedom is pretty nice. So when you're new in active duty, you're gonna do a lot of on-the-job training. So they're not gonna have you doing maintenance or doing your job on like your first day. There's a lot of like CBTs that you have to go through. So that's like online courses and trainings and stuff like that. So there's gonna be a lot of that for like the first week, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Really depends on however long your leadership decides to give you to finish that. It's like an in-processing packet that you have to fill out. So my first day, it was different because I had this one fellow airman. He's no longer in. His time had come, his contract had finished, but it was my first day doing FOD walk. And for those of you who don't know what FOD walk is, it's like when you walk the flight line to make sure that there's no foreign objects that can damage the aircraft, like just laying around on the flight line or in the hangar. So FOD walk is just something that we do every day. So, but this is my first day doing it, right? So I'm standing on the line, kind of just like gathering my bearings, looking at everybody, trying to get a feel for the place. And this airman, this fellow airman, he asked me, he was like, "Are you gonna scoot the down or what?" I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "Are you gonna scoot the down or what?" And I'm just like, "Are you gonna scoot the down?" Like, I don't know. I thought he was joking, because it's like, they definitely don't train us to be like that, you know what I'm saying, towards each other. And I just thought it was supposed to be a professional environment. But it was a little rough. That was my very first words exchanged with, like, you know, anybody in my shop. It was definitely something interesting. And then later that day, I did like my CBTs and stuff like that. But then I also did some on-the-job training. So I was taught how to do a few of the basic things that I needed to do. And by my second week, I was doing certain tasks by myself and things that I was qualified for and things like that. With active duty, not every job is gonna give you like an hour lunch break. Like I know I pretty much do live. I work on the flight line, so with my job, it's like anything can kind of go off any second. Meaning, like, you know, they could need us to do something at any moment's given notice, so we can't really go for a whole hour lunch break. Like, people can go, grab food, bring it back to the break room and eat, so just in case something happens, we can go back out on the line. But we don't get our set hour lunch breaks. Not every job's gonna do that. Like I said, maintenance flight line jobs are 100% of the time not gonna allow you to do that. So that was unfavorable when I first started. I wasn't really used to that. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just like, you know, it's nice to get away for an hour sometimes, but it doesn't happen on the flight line. So now that you're a grown adult airman, you have to be responsible for yourself. So like all your appointments, you have to take care of those. Your dental appointments, your medical appointments, your training appointments, anything that you have that is due, it is your responsibility to take care of it. And if you don't take care of it, your flight chief is going to talk to you, and you can also get paperwork if you don't show up to your appointments and things like that. So definitely keep track of your appointments. Your flight chief should make like a training list. If not, just ask on how you can keep track of training. But more than likely your flight chiefs are going to let you know. But you got to make sure it gets done, because if they don't let you know, but it was due, you're still held responsible for that. So training in active duty Air Force, like paperwork stuff, is stuff that you have to definitely keep track of. That is a new responsibility of yours. I think whenever I got to my first duty station, that had a lot of people, especially at the base that I'm at, I had a lot of people telling me like a lot of negatives, pretty much like about the job, saying how like it gets worse and the place sucks and all this kind of stuff. You're gonna run into a lot of negativity when you first get to your base, and I want to say that's going to be any base that you go to, regardless if it's a relatively good or bad base. I feel like you're just gonna have like people that are, you know, talking down on it, and don't let that influence you too much whatsoever. Don't let those people's like, you know, first impression of this is going to be horrible make your whole experience horrible for you, because you're going to be there for 2 to 20 years, you know, like really make the most of wherever you're at and start straight away. You know, when you first get to your station, you know, get out, drive around if you have a car. If you don't have a car, walk around your base, make friends. There's plenty of new people at bases, people that have been at bases that you'll eventually get cool with, make friends with. So, you know, I would definitely get acquainted with people. Don't be lonely at your first station. It's just gonna be nice to have people around you, especially being like in a completely new location. I feel like when you get to your first duty station, it'll be really easy to gain like a freshman 15 kind of thing, right? Because you're not gonna be in tech school anymore, so you're not gonna be walking around everywhere, all over the place, like all the time. You have your car now. If you do have your car, you'll be able to drive everywhere, and like eating fast food will be so convenient, even though you have the defect. But if the base that you're at, if their defect's not good, you're not gonna want to eat there, so you're gonna end up getting a lot of fast food. So be careful with that. Don't spend too much money on fast food. Come to your first station, like, just don't consume too much fast food in general, because depending on your job, you're not gonna have to do like mandatory workouts like how you did in tech school. So it'll be really easy to let yourself go if you don't, you know, come in and watch your fast food intake and, you know, making sure that you go to the gym, stuff like that. Another little side note about the dorms, you can actually add stuff to your dorms, like on your walls and stuff like that. You have a dorm guide. I have a whole video talking about living in the dorm, so you can check that out. I'll have the link in the description. Oh, another thing, once you're active duty, well, this goes for just like once you're in the military at all, underage drinking is a serious offense. So if you're not of age, do not be caught drinking alcohol. It can definitely mess you up. For one, it's illegal. Civilian side, it's also illegal in the military, so that UCMJ will take care of you, and it can take you out of the military, or it can pull some stripes from you. So when you're active duty, it's even in tech school, because alcohol is accessible when you're in tech school, be very cautious and do not get caught drinking alcohol if you're under the age of 21. I've seen alcohol-related incidents make or break a lot of like newer airmen's careers. So when it comes to grooming standards, once you're an active duty airman, it really depends on your leadership. Obviously, your grooming standards are your responsibility, so you have to make sure that you're shaved, your hair is within regs, no piercings in, anything like that if you're a dude. Like, that's all your responsibility, because you can go in for work and they could see that and they could, give you paperwork right on spot. So that is your responsibility. That's something that you have to make sure is good. You don't have like an MTI or an MTO telling you about that little stuff that needs to be taken care of. So that is another responsibility that is your own, your dress and appearance. I don't know if y'all remember, like, for my old viewers, for my day one viewers, you guys probably know this, or like just people that have seen like all my videos, I couldn't grow facial hair for a minute, so I didn't have anything to worry about. Like, I couldn't grow anything down here. It's growing, for those of you saying you can't see nothing. I just shaved it like a couple days ago, but I can't grow anything down here, and this is just now growing in maybe the past year, so I never had to worry about shaving standards for the longest time until recently. My flight chief's like, you got a waiver? I'm like, no sir, no I did not. You get that taken care of. Yes sir, got you. So had to shave, but caught me by surprise, because I saw it coming in, but like it was never a routine for me, like a BMT or a tech school or anything like that, because I didn't have like the facial hair down here. But it's here now, and it's a responsibility that I gotta take care of. So like, I remember that first drive whenever I got to the base and then I went to the mall or whatever. I remember having like a feeling of like freedom, because like I was driving my own car, and like I was driving on this one, like going down this mountain, like a really scenic area where I got to see into like this town or whatever, like we spread on for miles, and it was just like, it was like a really beautiful feeling, for real. Like I felt really proud, and it was just nice. Like that first day of active duty, like for those of you who join like fresh out of high school, like that's your first day of like adulthood, like by yourself, entirely by yourself. You don't have a babysitter, you don't have a teacher. You're now an active duty airman, like working and starting your career. Like this is the first day of your career. And for me, it was a pretty big feeling, All right, guys. So that was my first day experience as active duty. Like, first few days, first week, like things I went through, things that you guys should expect. Hope that helps you out. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Leave a like if this video helps you out. And also, if you know anybody that's thinking about joining the Air Force, make sure you tell them about it, and tell them to tell their friends about it. Make sure they tell everybody about my videos. All right, guys, so I hope you found this helpful, and until next time, stay great.